Welcome back to the channel. A horrific murder took place yesterday of 3 people. Now, we're going to run through what we know so far. This is still a developing case, but we're going to talk about what's been released so far and talk a little bit about it. So, Kyle Clifford, 26-year-old, has been arrested, has been taken to hospital as what we understand so far, is still alive. Now, according to reports, Carl has took the lives of 3 people in a horrific crossbow attack. Now, from the early reports, what we're reading here is Carl actually killed his ex-girlfriend Louise Hunt, also her sister Hannah, and their mum Carol in a heinous attack. Now, again, what we're reading is that he entered the house, he tied up all 3 and killed all 3 with a crossbow. There has been some footage released online that I'm going to share now, which shows potentially him leaving the crime scene, walking back to what looks like to be his car. So let me play that. So let's talk through it. I'm going to bring up a BBC News article here, which talks about what we know so far. Let's read through it together. Let's have a look and see what we know. So this article was first released on the 10th of July 2024, but was actually updated this morning on the 11th. And this is what we know so far. So a triple murder suspect has been captured following the killing of a BBC racing commentator's wife and 2 daughters on Tuesday. Kyle Clifford, 26, was found in the Enfield area by police officers on Wednesday afternoon following a full-scale manhunt in Hertfordshire and North London. Police believe Tuesday evening's attack was targeted and carried out with a crossbow, as well as possibly with other weapons. So there is potential here that there was other weapons involved, but all we know of so far is about the crossbow confirmed. So they're talking about how the attack unfolded here. So 3 women were found seriously injured just before 7 p.m. or 7 BST, British Summer Time, on Tuesday evening in an attack which police believe involved a crossbow. All 3 victims died at the scene in Ashling Close in Bushey, Hertfordshire. A full-scale manhunt has taken place today to find suspect Kyle Clifford, 26, who is from Enfield, North London, and used to work as a security guard. Armed police officers and specialist search teams responded at pace and were deployed to various locations in North London and the Bushey area of Hertfordshire. On Wednesday afternoon, so that's yesterday afternoon, armed officers and ambulance staff were seen at the cemetery close to where a house was searched in Enfield. The cemetery was closed off and an air ambulance was seen nearby. Hertfordshire police said later that Kyle Clifford had been apprehended with no shots fired by police. He is receiving medical treatment after being found with injuries. So does that mean potentially Kyle maybe tried to take his own life if the police did not fire any shots, or it could have been injuries from a number of different things? Again, we're still waiting for more information. This is very fresh news. What we know so far about the suspect is, and details are still emerging, that the suspect is believed to be Kyle Clifford, who left the British Army after a short period of service in 2022. He is also the ex-boyfriend of one of the daughters. So he is supposedly the ex-boyfriend of Louise Hunt. And this is from reports I've seen online on Twitter and also on TikTok. So this is not 100% confirmed right now, but that's the reports we're getting, that he's the ex-boyfriend of Louise. Police are treating the killings as a targeted incident. So yeah, from what, again, I'm reading online, Carl might have been the abusive ex-boyfriend of Louise. So this could have been a targeted attack. It could have been like a revenge attack. Again, more details will be coming out very shortly, I'm sure. Hertfordshire police said shortly after apprehending Mr. Clifford that he was found with injuries and is receiving treatment. So then BBC broke down a timeline of events, which is always really good to see. So let's break down the event here. So police officers were called to Ashling Close in Bushey, Hertfordshire just before 7 p.m. on Tuesday after a neighbour reported hearing screaming. Now, John was actually working on Tuesday during the day. He was actually at a racecourse doing commentary. So I believe from what I've heard is that he returned home and found out the news when he returned home. So horrific for him. And yeah, thoughts are with him and his family at this time. Like, horrific to be able to, you know, go to work one day and then come home and find this kind of scene. The 3 women were found seriously injured and died at the scene despite the efforts of paramedics. Armed police then searched a house in Rendlesham Road, Enfield, on Wednesday at around 8 AM, so that was yesterday morning. Police confirmed the killings were targeted and warned the public not to approach Mr. Clifford. Extensive police resources, including helicopters, armed officers, were deployed on Wednesday to find the suspect. And there is a clip here I'm going to put up of police actually, looks like they're entering a building potentially. I'm guessing to search for Carl himself. Hertfordshire Police issued a statement just before 6:30 PM on Wednesday, announcing officers had found and apprehended Mr. Clifford in Enfield. The force said he was receiving treatment after being found with injuries. So a little bit more about John Hunt. So John Hunt is a BBC 5 Live commentator, which for the people who do not know is a radio station in the UK. And as I say, he was working on the day. There's also been a few other clips that I want to show you guys. Clip here of the paramedics racing to the scene where they found the suspect.
Medics now running quite fast actually through hilly fields along with police officers. They've just arrived. Let's follow them. Let's see how far they'll let us follow them. Of course, this is a sensitive operation, but 2 paramedics now accompanying police officers through a bush and into the cemetery. It appears we don't yet know exactly what they're responding to, but this could be linked, we understand, to the search for Kyle Clifford. We're just being stopped by a police officer from going into this gate, but paramedics now running.
So yeah, horrific crime that's came out of the UK yesterday. As I say, thoughts are with John and his family. It's horrendous, and a crossbow attack, you don't really hear of that kind of thing. So yeah, very shocking to read, very sad for the family, very sad for John. And that's what we know so far. So they've apprehended Carl. He is in police custody, or he probably is still in hospital at the moment, but guarded by police. More information hopefully will come out on this very soon. You know, the reasoning behind it. Was it a revenge attack? Was it actually Louise's ex-boyfriend? Again, we're having reports of that coming out at the moment, but I'm really intrigued to find out the reasoning behind this. Will we ever find the reasoning behind it? You know, some people commit these heinous crimes and never want to talk about it. Other people, you know, want to actually give all the information. So I'll be back with you guys to update as soon as we do know more about this case. But yeah, horrific. See you guys soon.